Wow. If there was ever a time I would be left completely speechless while doing this challenge, it would be right now. Thanks to the countless efforts of Just a Fox, Vigitoys, and Gamer Parasite, War is now possible to beat with Pizzaface chasing behind you, both as the noise and as Peppino. Well, this series is completely out of order now, but who cares? There's a lot to cover here, so buckle up, subscribe maybe, and get out your shotguns, cause it's time to go to war. As most of you probably know, what made war impossible previously was this one room with the stupid rat. Since the very popular Lab 3 mod takes place during an escape where all obstacles have already been cleared, this room normally isn't an issue during the run, which is why a lot of people underestimate this level when it comes to this challenge. Cause like most people say, how hard can this level really be? It's just Lab 3, but twice. What makes this singular room so difficult is that the rat needs to be blown up by a missile fired from the tank, which moves slower than Pizzaface. This means Pizzaface would reach us before the missile would reach the rat, leading to an instant game over. Since there's practically no room before the tank to outrun Pizzaface, this leads to our only potential strategy to be to juke Pizzaface while waiting for the missile to catch up. Since I didn't really go over it well in my Don't Make a Sound video, I'll briefly discuss my attempts to clear this room. I mainly focused on Peppino, as while the noise does have more movement options, it's still pretty tricky to use with the minigun, and I didn't think those differences would be that impactful. Boy, was I wrong. As I already said, juking Pizzaface while waiting for the missile to catch up is our only real option, which is pretty tricky to do. The rat is located in the bottom right corner of this section, behind two sharp turns, and the tank itself is located a bit to the left. We do have all this space above the tank, but since the missile homes onto the player and not the rat, juking Pizzaface in this long hallway won't cut it. This presents the first of two problems, as the missile will never be given enough time to reach the rat, no matter how many times we jump over Pizzaface. Speaking of which, jumping over Pizzaface is the second problem. It's fairly simple to do, as we have lots of walls that let us perform easy wall jumps, even with the gun's slower movement, but that leads to us spending too much time near the top. The problem is that the missile would be baited too far up, so even if we did somehow manage to get it far enough to the right, it would spend too much time going down. So it's clear that if we're going to juke Pizzaface, it's going to have to be as far to the right as possible, and should involve going under instead of over Pizzaface if necessary. My closest Peppino attempt utilized this section here, where I waited as long as possible on the right before jumping over both Pizzaface and the missile. Then to avoid going back to the left, I would jump off this tiny wall here and go over Pizzaface, then under the missile. This would curve the missile down, but it would still be too high up before reaching the rat, so this strategy ultimately failed. Despite how close it is, I just couldn't figure out how to curve the missile down effectively enough to hit the rat, so I called it quits there. Little did I know how close I really was. Just a Fox discovered how to do war shortly after I uploaded the Don't Make a Sound video, which utilized the noise. And right away, you can see how the two factors of staying on the right and going under Pizzaface are utilized in the strategy. To start, Just a Fox lures Pizzaface up with a couple of wall bounces, giving the missile as much time to catch up before tornadoing down. He then bounces after reaching the ground and twirls to reach the left ledge, which allows him to wall bounce over Pizzaface again. Notice how the missile still hasn't caught up and is still moving to the right. This will be important later. After bouncing over Pizzaface a second time, he stalls at the top for as long as possible before tornadoing down underneath him, canceling the tornado by pressing grab to enter a slide, and slipping underneath both Pizzaface and the missile, which has finally made its way to the right. At this point, the missile is curved both down and to the left. To give it as much time to go down as possible, Just the Fox goes all the way to the left wall and does a tornado off of it, which jukes Pizzaface yet again. With all that put into place, the noise can then hug the rat while the missile makes its way down, just barely killing the rat before Pizzaface catches up. This strategy is completely insane, as it takes both factors and uses them to their fullest potential. The noise only ever stays in the rightmost section, making a loop around Pizzaface while moving very little left and right. He also only ends up above the missile for a split moment before looping underneath it, which gives it just enough time to go all the way down. This is only really possible thanks to all of the noise's improvements on Peppino's moveset. You can start off similarly as Peppino by doing constant fast falls near the ceiling, as you can't simply grab into it thanks to the gun, but going under Pizzaface is the issue. You can fast fall down as usual, but you won't be able to jump over Pizzaface as Peppino's Mach Run is way too slow when you reach the left wall. Since this wall jump and loop underneath the missile are crucial for the strategy, Peppino just simply can't do the same thing the noise can, especially when it comes to maintaining speed through a tornado right at the end. However, this room is still possible to beat with Peppino, and it was discovered a bit after Just the Fox's discovery by Vigitoys. Their strategy is a bit more straightforward than the noises, yet still just as effective. It starts off by luring Pizzaface to the bottom section and jumping onto the right wall. From there, Peppino is easily able to juke Pizzaface, but doesn't have enough height to completely go over the missile. Vigitoids uses this to their advantage and dives underneath it, which perfectly lures the missile down, while also curving left. Peppino is then able to juke Pizzaface again off the short wall on the left, which ends up going over and to the right of the missile. This lures the missile back to the right, which makes it so the missile never stops going down towards the rat, killing it while Peppino wall dives off the right wall to get speed. Another wall dive later, and Peppino is able to fast fall down the hole, clearing the room. Again, huge shoutouts to Just a Fox and Vigitoids for discovering these strategies. I'm also pretty sure that another player named Gamer Parasite also helped lay the foundation for these strategies to be possible, so make sure to check them out as well. It's clear that they all worked on this together as a group, which is awesome to see. Anyways, how's the rest of the level like? Well, it's really easy. Due to its inclusion in the Lab 3 mod, all of War's rooms that don't have stupid rats have already been broken down and found out to be possible a long time ago. I completed this level as the Noise first and foremost, as not only is it the character who made War possible first, but he also makes the level more interesting compared to Peppino, who you've all probably seen Lab 3 this level 100 times by now. And even with the gun, not much about the run really changes. Now, what's funny is that this is my third time clearing the level overall. You know, I tried just beating it normally the first time, and I beat it so fast and the run was so bad that I just couldn't make a video on it. So I just said, screw it, if I'm gonna play this level, I'm gonna do it while having as much fun as possible. And since I'm a die-hard perfectionist who doesn't touch grass, playing for fun involves using a lot of complicated speedrun tech. Throughout the run, I attempt many high woosts to speed up certain sections. Since we do have a minigun for the first lap of the level, performing them becomes a bit trickier. That's because the default spin is replaced with a grab, and the game will default to it if I press grab while not holding any direction. This makes spinning out of tornado attacks to perform high woosts a bit trickier, but still manageable. I'm also able to get around the slower acceleration of the minigun by simply quick starting a mock run through the tornado cancel, so this should be much faster than its Peppino. I perform a high woost after shooting the first target blocks, which I do after a twirl off the right wall. I spin out of the tornado in the next room, following it up with a normal midair woost after killing the pizza soldier on the left. I then spin over the rocket transformation as that actually slows down the noise by quite a bit, and tornado down to the mushroom toppin. Here I can spin out of the tornado to perform another high woost off the wall on the left, making sure to regain a mock state before breaking the middle block. Pressing grab again while in the spin forces the noise to shoot, so I use that to break the target block after crusher jumping past the pizza soldiers. I do a normal tornado cancel and perform yet another high woost off the left wall to exit the room. I get past the rat with the rocket transformation, and then shoot the minigun while in the air after picking up the cheese toppin here. This not only maintains some momentum while also breaking the hidden block, but the minigun's extended range also hits the target blocks all the way to the right here, which lets us regain Mach 4 before entering the next room. We are forced to wait at the bottom before juking Pizzaface however, as the noise falls slower with the tornado than does Peppino with the power bomb. We also need to get past the stupid rat at the top of the room with the rocket, so I make sure to bait Pizzaface as far to the right as possible before picking up the transformation and flying above him. A quick side note, this rocket can sometimes go down and bonk into this wall for no apparent reason, and as far as I know, this happens randomly and you can't do anything to avoid it. So have fun with that if you're playing the level, I guess. I get the bell by twirling off the wall and tornado canceling to kill the Kentucky Bomber. The first secret is usually a lot easier without the minigun, so I leave it for lap 2. I perform another high boost in this section, where we can avoid waiting for Pizzaface altogether thanks to the noise's faster movement. The next room involves waiting for a missile to kill a rat near the bottom, which involves luring Pizzaface a bit more to the left before proceeding to the right. I also super taunt while I have the chance to kill some extra enemies. I perform another, you guessed it, high boost off the wall after dropping through the hole underneath the rat, which gives me 22 speed that I am fully able to maintain after hitting the boost pad, getting me out of the tornado without losing speed. The next two secrets are completed during the first lap, not because it's faster to do with the minigun or anything, but because skipping them in the second lap is actually faster than skipping them now. Pizzaface doesn't show up in the second secret, so I can tornado cancel to leave without issue. You can also shoot this tank through the wall for extra points if you want. I enter the next room, where we once again need to kill a stupid rat with a rocket. The rocket's to the right of the room, while the rat is all the way on the left, which means intercepting Pizzaface is a given. You can't do the normal Peppino strat of luring Pizzaface above the rocket before falling onto it, as the noise's animation takes too long. So instead, I head to the right as fast as possible, making sure to lure Pizzaface to the top of the screen here with a couple of mid-air twirls before getting to the rocket. This lures Pizzaface up just enough so I can squeeze underneath him when going to the left. The next room is a straight line with a couple of tanks in the way, which I crusher cancel over and then tornado onto to avoid the missiles. The next room is the difficult one with the rat, so I need to enter this room with as much speed as possible. This is because the start of the room involves going down to the right, then turning around and going up to the left before crusher jumping into this narrow section to reach the long hallway above the tank. Spending too much time in the first section would result in Pizzaface being really far to the right, which gives the missile less time to go to the right. This isn't an issue if you enter the room at slightly faster than Mach 3 speed, but if you want to be completely safe by being a complete lunatic, you can enter the room at Mach 4 or above by performing a high boost off the left wall here. This only helps the missile go further to the right and not down, as you still have to wait for Pizzaface to perform the juke over him, but it helps a bit. I just barely get past the rat and enter the third secret. Pizzaface intercepts you on your way down into the left, so I wait at the top before crusher jumping over him and tornado canceling to the left. The next room involves a Pizzaface juke off the right wall to go to the left. I then lure him up with some crusher jumps to give me enough time to shoot the target block on the right. I miss the bell, which is sad, but not bad. Going as fast as possible in the next room results in an interception. This can be entirely avoided by getting Jerome and resetting Pizzaface's position with the treasure room, but that means we'd need to do it without an up door, and you know, I just can't let that slide. So instead, I use this opportunity to collect as many points as I can. I spin into the Kentucky bomber and try shooting him, but turns out this enemy is an absolute Chad and completely dodges my minigun shots by a sliver. Like, are you guys seeing this? Like, holy hell. He ends up dying in lap 2 anyway, but still, just for that, this guy's goated. Anyways, I shoot the cheese blocks and kill the Peppino clone for extra points while stalling for Pizzaface. Afterwards, I tornado down, sliding just underneath Pizzaface. I then gain enough distance to shoot the 2 target blocks here, quickly regaining my speed with another tornado cancel. I do that again here, super jumping to exit the room. After that, I get the pineapple toppin and hug the leftmost wall to go just under the tank's missile before wall bouncing into it. Now, I end up missing a total of 3 high woosts in lap 2. I know, skill issue. But they're pretty difficult to perform even normally, so cut me some slack. I'm surprised I managed to land most of them so far, so I'll take it. Many sections can now be easily skipped, thanks to us no longer needing the rocket transformations or missiles to kill the rats. I super taunt the 4 pizza soldiers here for points, and get Jerome in the next room with some crusher jumps. The first and final secret isn't too tricky to do, as all I do is stall Pizzaface to be above me before tornadoing down and going underneath him. Here is a spot for potentially the most useful high boost in the game. If done right, it can be instantly cancelled by the boost pad and can result in you gaining about 25 speed for the next rooms. It's pretty difficult though, as high boosts require you to let go of Mach Run, while the boost pad needs you to be holding it, so it's a very input dense technique. It's no surprise that I miss it, but I'm still able to gain and maintain 22 speed just through the trackpads. I do a high jump here to avoid losing speed and make sure to break the cheese block I missed earlier before crusher jumping into the narrow passage. And then high boost off the left wall, which eliminates the need to juke Pizzaface in this section. I super taunt the remaining 2 pizza soldiers and get Jerome with the usual up throw and high boost. Since I missed the bell both times during this level, and I completely forget about the backup bell here, I end up getting enough points through taunts, ending in 5 minutes and 5 seconds. Not the cleanest run, but hey, I'll take it. As I've already said, this is my 3rd clear of this level as the noise, as the first one was incredibly slow and stinky, and the second one was clean, but it had a horrendous bitrate. Like, what the heck is this? That's not why this video came out late, but it certainly helped. I'll be uploading a run of this level as Peppino somewhat soon. I probably won't go in depth on it though, as it'll really just be lap 3 but with a gun in a few different rooms, but it's cool that the level is possible as Peppino anyway. Once again, huge shoutouts to Just the Fox, Vigitoids, and Gamer Parasite. Their links are all in the description. At this rate, they'll probably discover how to do Oregano Desert or something before I even begin working on the Crumbling a Tower of Pizza video. Speaking of which, that is definitely going to be the next video. Yeah, see you then.